Hey, welcome to this latest lesson. Now, this is a very important one in regards to motivation. And there's two different forms of motivation we're going to go through today. We're going to talk through push motivation and pull motivation and how both of them are required to help you stay on a journey that is going to get you to where you want to be. So, we're going to look at understanding these two fundamental forces that are going to drive human behavior. So push motivation generally comes from external pressures and obligations that compel us to move forward, and pull motivation draws us towards our deeper vision of ourselves and our more authentic desires. So most people rely exclusively on push forces. That's all people focus on, whereas we need both to have really long-term lasting motivation. So first up, what are push goals? Well, the definition of push goals is short-term motivators driven by pain, fear, or discomfort that push you away from your current situation. So the first example would be you want to lose weight because you feel embarrassed about your appearance for an upcoming reunion, all right? Or it could be, the second example, working late to meet a deadline because you fear your boss's criticism, or you fear you might lose your job. They're push goals, pushing you to do something. And the function of this is to create immediate action, but this often fades once the discomfort subsides. So this is why they've kind of got a bit of a lifespan on them, okay? So the downside of push goals are that they're temporary in nature, so they generally provide initial excitement, but quickly burn out. So it's a bit like a match that flares too brightly, then fades to ash. All right, there's a little analogy there for you. It's got a limited lifespan, so the urgency of discomfort, like a health scare or something embarrassing happening, naturally diminishes once you start taking action. And the decline in motivation is real. So this explains why 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by February. You know, most people don't stick to their New Year's resolutions because the initial push goal wasn't designed for long-term change. It's just that initial kind of push to get you started, but it doesn't last because you need more than that. So we're going to look at something called the motivational gap right here, right now. So the motivational gap is this little kind of three-way system where we've got an in-between zone, a progress paradox, and a habit slide. So the in-between zone, the first thing we're going to look at, you've made initial progress, but you haven't reached your vision quite yet. This middle phase is where most people abandon their goals. The early push motivation has started to fade and we're stuck in the in-between zone. And then you've got the progress paradox as well. So as you improve, the pain that initially motivated you diminishes. So your early successes actually reduce the urgency that got you started, creating a bit of a motivational paradox. And then we have the habit slide as well. So without a compelling vision pulling you forward, it becomes increasingly tempting to revert to old habits, the comfortable old behaviors that kind of got you to where you were initially before you started your journey. Those old behaviors that feel really familiar and comfortable. So that's that. And what we're looking at here are pull goals. Okay, so we've gone through the motivational gap there, and now we're going to go into what pull goals are. So unlike push goals, pull goals create sustainable motivation that grows stronger and stronger over time. So the first thing is fulfillment, okay? A vision of your ideal future that excites you even when thinking about it years from now. So we could be thinking 10 years from now, but it still excites you because that's where you want to get to. The attraction of it, goals that pull you forward through desire rather than pushing you through fear or pain. So it's something that you desire rather than something you don't want to be. And this is what we need, both of these, okay? And then examples of this would be building a business or building a body that you love, having energy to play with the grandkids in 20, 30 years time, traveling to 50 countries, okay? Just little examples here that aren't all fitness related, but they're good examples of what pull goals are. Now, unlike the temporary nature of push goals, pull goals create an emotional connection to your future that sustains motivation through the inevitable motivation gap. So yeah, pull goals, very important part of motivation in general. And now we have push versus pull. So push goals, examples of these: escaping pain, fear, or immediate discomfort. Short-term urgency that creates initial action. Driven by external pressure or embarrassment, like we touched upon. Motivation fades once the discomfort starts to subside, which hopefully it does start to subside. So that's great, isn't it? But we need more than a push goal. And an example would be working late to avoid criticism, okay? And then we have the pull goals. This is what's going to continue your journey. So moving towards fulfillment and a meaningful vision. Long-term focus that creates sustainable change for yourself, driven by intrinsic desire and positive outcomes. Who do you want to be? You know, I say that a lot. Who do you want to become? This is a pull goal. Sustains motivation through the in-between zone. And an example of this would be building energy for quality life years. So lasting change requires both types of motivation, but primarily but living primarily in the pull creates sustainable momentum. So we get the push to get us going initially, then the pull takes over for the vast majority of your journey. So we need to reconnect even with your vision. So if you feel motivation slipping, okay, when push motivation fades and you're in the in-between zone, reconnect with your pull goals' emotional power rather than relying on willpower alone. This is where I feel some people slip up. They just rely on willpower. Let's reconnect with that vision, that goal, that pull goal that you want, okay? And that will get you motivated again. Visualize your ideal future. What will your life look like in 5 years if you achieve this goal? So picture specific details with this. So how will you feel? Who will you be with? What will you be doing daily? What life does that person live? Okay, and we can reverse engineer it from there, and then identify compelling experiences. So what meaningful moments will this goal create? Whether it's having energy to play with the grandkids, traveling to dream destinations, building a body that you love, or like I said, a business that you love, focus on what pulls you forward. So unlike push motivation, reconnecting with this vision creates an emotional bridge that carries you through that motivation gap where you feel a little bit demotivated. So reconnect with that vision as often as you possibly can. All right, it's really, really important you do that. And it's also important to remember the motivation is created, it's not found. You have to create a motivation. So if you sat there waiting for it, it's never going to happen. So we need to engineer it daily. So we can create motivation through deliberate morning routines, visualization practices, things that are going to help you connect towards your pull goal, okay? And we want to leverage some pull tools. So we're going to use vision boards, write affirmations down, have weekly check-ins with accountability partners, with a friend, a family member, a coach. Okay, leverage those pull tools and then strengthen it through practice. So build your motivation muscle by taking consistent action even when you don't want to do it. It's absolutely crucial. Take action when you don't want to do it, especially during the motivational gap. And there's a few tasks for you today. So what I'm looking for you to do is write your goals clearly. I want you to list 2 to 3 current push goals that got you started. So what was it that made you start trying to improve your health and fitness? And then I want you to create one compelling pull goal that excites you for years to come. So really think about this. Well, 2 to 3 push goals got you going, and then one compelling pull goal that is going to really excite you for years to come. Practice daily visualization. Spend 5 minutes each morning imagining your pull goal with all 5 senses, all right? Just imagine that moment. Feel the emotions of your achievement. Really feel that position you want to have yourself in, okay? Who do you want to become? What life do you want to leave? And share that vision so you can share it with a coach, with a friend, with an accountability partner, with a family member, whoever can really, really help you with this and check in on you to see your progress as well, to keep you on track with your progress. So these 3 steps are going to create a foundation for sustainable motivation, and this is going to carry you through the inevitable motivation gap that you will have. So guys, hope this makes sense. It's really, really important we take this on board. You shouldn't just rely on those push goals that got you started. We need to think about your vision, your why, who you want to become, and that's going to pull you towards the life that you want to live. All right, so hopefully all this makes sense. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Drop me a message, but have a good one, and I will catch you all on the next one.